performance and ultimately into the composition of music. I think it's as important as that.
But
I think the listener today, sitting at home behind his massive stereophonic dials, which are very primitive dials, when you compare them with what he's going to have 10 years from now even, if he can afford them, sitting at home behind those massive dial boards is making decisions that at any earlier time in history, at any other moment, would have been counted interpretive decisions. He's deciding on balances. He's deciding on the things that conductors decide upon. They say, you horns, tighten up on that. You're playing that, you're slackening there, you behave, you know. He's making those decisions, in effect. He is, in fact, allowing his decisions about A channel and B channel to be interpretive. He's making conductorial decisions. He is deciding about the clarity that he wants the sound to have, whether he wants it to have bass rumble or high tweeter or whatever it is. Again, these are sounds that a performer would make as to his choice of instrument. I mean, he is in fact supplanting or supplementing the choice that I as a performer would make when I choose an instrument and say that's a good instrument for playing Richard Strauss or a good instrument for playing Bach. Wouldn't like to be one instrument to be good for both of those things, but you know what I mean. The listener is in fact helping me make that decision, because he's saying when I listen to a Bach recording, I'm going to turn that switch with a lot of treble and very little bass in order to get something of the clarity that the Baroque music ought to have. When I listen to a Richard Strauss recording, I'm going to take that treble, I'm going to turn it back, and I'm going to turn up the bass in order to get this enormous width and spread of sound that it ought to have. And you may very well say to me, is the listener qualified to do this? Because this, of course, is, I'm sure, your next question. And I hold that not only is he qualified, or can he become so qualified with the erudition that's available everywhere today in recorded catalogs, and simply through listening experience, but that indeed he must become so. This is his role, this is his future.
But you can't explain to me, as it seems to me, how the listener takes on the conductor's role, the question of determining tempo, the question of determining...
Well, have you never seen a turntable that was acceleratable, you know, with one of these sliding things that in fact gives you any range between 33 and 78? It's entirely possible to what's that rock and roll group, the Chipmunks or something? It's entirely possible to make all Beethoven symphonies sound as if rendered by the Chipmunks, you know.
Yes, but this is really...
one octave high. No, naturally I'm carrying it ad absurdum, but I'm saying it can be done. Any gradation between chosen speed of record companies is entirely possible.
But I want to hear Klemperer's Beethoven.